Hello, good evening. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca Oswago. With me today on the show is Tomi Akimbobola and Chente Okoli. Hello, Chente. How are you? Hello, Chente. Chente, please, can you
Yes,
unmute?
yes. Please, my apologies. Hello. It's good to be here again, and I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
How far now? How your week?
This week has been something else,
Yeah.
sincerely. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tommy,
thank
how
you.
are you? This is the second time I'm seeing you this week. How are you?
Good.
Look into my eyes. What do you see? Tommy, how are you?
I do.
What's going on?
Thank God the week is almost over. I can't wait, man.
I don't know. Okay,
I'm gonna
I don't
have some
understand.
outings tomorrow, so
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
looking
oh, you're
forward to it.
busy. You're
Yeah.
busy. Put me in your handbag when
Come
you're
on, man.
going.
You was invited, man.
I know.
I tell you all the time, but
I
come
goes nowhere.
on. Okay.
Okay, when you kidnap me.
They're thinking up street.
Okay, so tonight on the show, we're discussing the power of vulnerability. And I chose to have two guys on the show because I think guys are more prone to. This is more about guys. Ladies are already vulnerable at every point in time. It's something that, is common with the ladies. But I think guys fight it. So I said, oh, let's have guys on the show so they can understand what the power of vulnerability is. And Chente is very keen on that. And I'm sure that's what, when I sent him the topic, he jumped up. Yes, put me there.
I concur to that. Very true.
Immediately I sent it to you, you're like, yes, I'm on. So he's a preacher of that. He's a preacher of the fact that guys should be more vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to open up. It's okay to get a hug. It's okay to let people know that, you're hurting. It's okay to let people know that you're weak sometimes, which is actually a good place. So, but Chente, let's start with you. What's the power of vulnerability, please? As a guy. I want to take it from a guy's perspective.
Okay, so I would say that first of all, right, I have, in fact, one of the things that I preach is vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. Instead, it is a sign of strength.
Okay.
It is you knowing that, yes, I know that people can be hurtful, that people can do things to you, that people out there sometimes are even dangerous, right? But again, it is also knowing that regardless of maybe the bad experiences, that there are also good people out there. And so if you're not truly vulnerable, how do you also connect with the good people out there, right? And so it is you knowing that regardless, right, I still choose to be vulnerable. I still choose to be raw. I still choose to want to open my heart again, right, and share what I'm going through, right? I still choose to be vulnerable enough to connect with people. I think that vulnerability is a true show of strength because you're not on the edge thinking, oh my God, which person is going to hurt me next? So I'm going to close my heart. I'm going to lock my heart up. I'm not going to let anybody in, right? But you're saying that regardless of the fact that I know that people sometimes can just be messy, right? But I'm still, trusting that there's somebody out there that would indeed, appreciate my sincerity, appreciate my vulnerability. There is true strength in vulnerability. There is true strength. I think the power of vulnerability is the strength that lies beneath it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well said.
See the passion.
Yeah, well said. He's very passionate
So much
about it.
passion.
He's very passionate. As in, for every time we have a conversation, he's always about how guys need to be more vulnerable. They need to show that they can be vulnerable.
So have you asked yourself? I didn't get his name again.
Chente.
Chete. What about guys who have, made themselves vulnerable over time and the experience has not been so great, and because of the experience, decide to pull back and shield themselves? What I mean, what do you tell these kind of people? How do you tell them to come out and, because you said you keep trying, you keep showing yourself to people until you meet the right people. Do you keep, then are you telling me that it's okay to keep getting hurt by these people until you finally meet someone who's good enough?
Okay, now thank you very much for that, right? Now, when I also teach vulnerability, I also teach the place of boundaries because There is no, see, if you want to practice real vulnerability, you have to have boundaries. People feel like vulnerability is about being open to anyone, anywhere, anyhow, doing like, I'm gonna just, spread myself and be like, anybody come, No, vulnerability is not that way, right? If you truly want to practice vulnerability, you must have high boundaries. And boundaries are going to protect you, right? Because your boundaries are saying that if you do this to me, this is going to be the consequences. And so when you set, this person would repeat maybe that same cycle, this is where you say, I'm not going to do it again, right? I'm going to cut you off. But I think that people feel like, that if you are vulnerable, that you don't have any boundaries, or that you shouldn't have any boundaries, you should just let everybody in. No, vulnerability can be there, but the how to really guard yourself from hurt is by setting healthy boundaries for yourself.
I think that's the perfect answer to it. Pulling the boundary into the line once you try to be vulnerable with people. I think that answers it very well.
No, I don't think it's only when. So everybody should have boundaries,
Yeah.
regardless is whether you're vulnerable, whether everybody should have boundaries. But I think what Chente is trying to say that you're vulnerable doesn't mean
Doesn't mean
You're stupid.
exactly. You shouldn't have high boundaries.
you should. Do you understand? Yes, yeah, it's okay. Ladies are vulnerable, but they set boundaries.
Yeah.
You understand? So you see, so it's at the point where, so I think for me, like I said, I want to actually take this to the guys because they need it more. I think when I'm discussing vulnerability with guys, I want a guy to know that it's okay to ask for a hug. Do you understand? I want a guy to know that it's okay to actually say, you know what, I'm worried about something. So that aspect of vulnerability is what I'm concerned about. And then when I say the power of vulnerability, if you're able to tell someone you need a hug, it improves your communication. It improves your relationship. If something is bothering you and you're able to say, you know what, there's something bothering me right now and I need to speak about it. I need to talk about it. I would not say because I'm a man, I shouldn't speak about it. So I'm in a group, I'm in a WhatsApp group, and there was a conversation today where, so there's a video where Obi had, this quarrel with one of the senators, and apparently the senator told her to shut up. That's what caused the argument in that group. And a particular guy came and said, for what? Why would she tell him to shut up? Does she not know he's a man? So that man thing came. And, at that point, everybody started saying, what has the gender got to do with it?
Exactly.
Nobody should tell anybody to shut up in such circumstances, regardless of if you're a man or if you're a woman. And then, even if you're told to shut up, you don't start reacting because you're a man. You respond as a person.
You can respond as a man, actually.
No, but even...
So when I say man...
No, as a person, let's not make it a gender thing. So don't say that, because I'm a man, I need to shut her up. No,
not in that regards.
Not in that regards. You can actually address what she has done, but calmly.
Yeah.
So the way you expect women to respond to things, because if you see, so there's this, ladies are supposed to have this personnel, they tell you to be calm, they'll tell you to be relaxed, don't shout, don't scream, always be composed, So who says that you cannot address as a man, you can't also be that person? Because the way she was speaking, he would have just said, oh, sorry, you don't speak to me like that. Exactly. It doesn't make you, it's not a gender thing. It doesn't make you lesser of who you are. It doesn't take your manhood from you. It doesn't change your name. But I feel that because men do not understand what vulnerability is, they're always very aggressive, uptight at every point in time. So it's something that they need to embrace. Men need to understand that every attack is not at you. She's doing something. You'll be shocked she's just doing something. She's not even thinking she's speaking to a man. She's just seeing somebody there. And guess what? It's not just with friends. Even with siblings, husband and wife, there's this thing. I am sure that if men understand that they are not always right. Nobody is always right. If men understand that you don't have to always provide, in the sense that be reasonable, be responsible, but you don't have to kill yourself. Have a conversation. You're not trying to impress anybody. Have a conversation. In fact, I have seen that the men who kind of uplift their wives have better lives. Because it's a 50-50 thing. Let me explain why I say that. The minute you say, you know what, it's not just about me. Let her also feel like a man, or, it's a partnership. So we're equals here. So let's have a conversation. Babe, I won't do this thing. What do you think? What are your thoughts? The minute you engage your other person, your other partner, you find out that a burden has been taken off you. She's unintentionally, you understand, trying to make that thing you're trying to do work. She's not doing intentionally, but subconsciously, this guy just told me this thing has to work. This thing has to work. I have to, that's how women are wired. But speaking
Good
of,
women.
sorry, good women. You had to say that.
I had to.
Okay. So, but something just came to my mind now, and that is for a relationship between a male and a female. I'm now thinking of same gender relationships. Okay. How do they cope with vulnerability and respect and spaces?
Like guy to guy or girl to girl?
Girl to girl, guy to guy, because they have same personnel, they have same personalities. So how does that work? I can understand, at least I have seen the man and the woman. Okay, so but guess what? Same sex, one person is actually acting like the woman. So at that point, she's vulnerable. Is that what it means?
If you act like a woman.
So same sex relationships. Yeah. They say men are not vulnerable by nature. So when you have same sex relationship, guy, how is the man able to get vulnerable?
So when a guy gets vulnerable, they say he's too emotional.
Okay.
Because sometimes I can be emotional with my guys. And why would they say I'm emotional? Because I'm able to tell them how I feel. I'm sorry, I don't like what you have done. Say, for instance, maybe you're supposed to check on me, I didn't check on me. I come out. Why did you check on me? Is there anything wrong with you checking on me? And you go by emotional man. But come on. That's me expressing myself. I choose to be vulnerable around you. But some guys don't know how to accept it. They feel you're trying to be girly.
You're girly.
Yeah, they're trying to be a woman. But come on. And I think upbringing too also matters in this case. I think maybe that's why I'm able to express how I feel. Because, growing up, my dad, thank God for him, it put in us to always express ourselves no matter what.
Tom, is it that? I think it's because you grew up with girls.
I don't think it's because I grew up with girls. I think
you're the only guy with girls.
Yeah.
That is always like that.
But I'm the first.
Yeah, but
and I met guys who grew up with girls, and come on, they're really girly.
So I have something to actually say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have something to say, and I'm gonna say it to a point, because I feel like there is a widespread of things that men are wired that way. And I think we talked about this, at least even if it's a little, last week, right? And it's about the idea of men, are wired not to be expressive. Again, I'm gonna say this, right? It's a conditioning thing. It's not a imbued men thing.
Valid.
It's a conditioning thing, because I said something right last week, and I was saying that, you see, if like a boy and a girl child in a home that are being raised together, you see that the boy is being taught, hey, do not cry, do not show emotion. But when a girl shows emotions, it's okay for her to cry, it's okay for her to do something. That is what informs the man that it's not okay for me to show my emotions. It is not okay for me to express how I feel. That is where the issue started from.
Exactly.
It is a conditioning thing. It is not a gender thing. It is not saying that the men are wired. Because if you truly say it's, it is how the men are wired, then why are some men open to expressing their emotion? If you ask, like, if you go back, you see that sometimes in some families, there are some boy child that are being raised like to talk about how you feel, cry. Do you understand? And those men, they don't see like, I can express my emotion, I can do anything.
Exactly.
Like they don't think that it is a problem. They don't think that is a problem, but it is a conditioning thing. It is how we as parents, is how we train these children. how we tell the boy, how we inform the boy child, hey, it's okay to cry, or don't cry, don't show emotions. Crying
Don't
is
you know
for
you're
a
a man? Don't
woman
you know you're a
now.
man? Don't you know you're a man?
Exactly,
Okay, so
man up.
but I want to ask a question, Chente. Do you think that this is why it is because of this a lot of people, because guys are not allowed to be vulnerable, we have this, whole gay thing? Is that why? Because they're trying to express themselves.
And be a woman doing that.
Yes.
I don't think that's the case.
Chente, what do you think?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Okay, so regarding the training of children, say you don't have to cry, you don't have to do this. Do you think that affects this whole gay thing? Because you see them trying to be women, or you see the guys you see the women, because they don't like this whole feminine thing, they want to be guys, and then the guys.
No,
Okay.
no, it is not it.
So that is not what that is not. It doesn't affect that part. Doesn't
It
affect it
doesn't
at all.
affect, no.
Okay.
No, it doesn't affect it. It
Okay.
doesn't affect it.
Okay.
It doesn't, and I know that. So okay, I think you were saying something.
No, I wasn't. I just coughed. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so and I know that, right? I think we did, delve into this a little
Conversation
about
last time.
last week.
Yes, last week.
But I see again, right? I've done a lot of studies on gender work, on sexuality,
Okay.
on sex, and a lot of things. And I can say that a big factor of people's sexuality goes to as far as genetics.
Really?
Explain.
And I'll just stop there because
No.
Let me stop there.
So when you
please,
say,
I beg you.
JT, right?
No, Chente.
Chente. When you say
Chente.
genetics, right? I beg to differ. I don't think that's the case. Because if in reality, if you want to look at some people who are,
No, but when they say genetic, it doesn't have to be your immediate parents.
of course, you can go way back. And
Yeah.
then we've done research where we see.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is that, right? What I'm just trying to say is that some people indeed are born. That is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, born that way.
Yes,
So, Chente,
that is what I'm trying to say.
Chente,
Like,
what do you
some
mean
people
by-
are born that way.
What do you mean by born that way?
I don't think so.
What do you mean by Chente? What do you mean by born that way? In the sense that you are born, you are a guy, but you are born you're a
born to act like
female,
a
but you're
lady.
actually a guy. Is that what you mean?
Okay, so to support
No,
what
I
is
mean some people are born with.
so Chente, to support, the only reason why I would support you in this regard is when, of course, male have testosterone, high level of it, and sometimes you see that they have very low testosterone, have a bit more of what do they call the females on? What do they call the females hormones? I can't remember what they call it, but whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about.
So are you saying it is the hormones that also, is it possible that the hormones affect this, Chente?
Hormones, actually.
That's only where I can say, okay, yes, you might be right. Because when the male has more of the female estrogen, yeah, thank you. When the male has more of that, then of course you might see tendency of him to act like a lady. But most times that's not the case. Most times it happens based on maybe growing up, they were raped by uncles, raped by cousins, older people, or when they went to public school or boarding school, they got exposed to stuff like that, and they become that person.
So, but it has nothing to
I
do
agree
with.
with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with vulnerability.
No,
Because
no.
you know why I say that?
So if not vulnerability, the woman supposed to behave
Like
Like
that.
woman.
Women. You know why I say that? I've seen issues where from childhood, guys trying to be like females. They dress up like women, girls, they like the girly thing. Do you understand? At that point in time. And then they just grow up, and they just love it and they want to be that person. So they, in their quiet space, so initially as children, they want to act like girls. Maybe they have sisters, and then you hear they are being screamed at, they are being, beaten not to do that and everything. So they go into a closet, and begin to do that in a closet.
But guess what? Like you said, I have 3 sisters. My sisters tried on hair on my head. They tried on makeup, lipstick, and all that.
Those
on
kind
me.
of things. So,
But that didn't make me become the other part of it. I
but
remain
you don't-
myself.
No, you don't get my point.
Yeah.
It's what I'm just trying to say is maybe you didn't like it. I'm just saying sometimes it triggers something.
Well, maybe, but like I said earlier, what I think triggers it is all those exposure.
Hormones and all that.
Yeah, and then the exposure they have from being raped, being molested by men and colleagues and seniors in school. Those are the things that really push
Okay,
out
so
stuff.
but okay, based on what you have said, do you think that because guys are not vulnerable, they are not able to express themselves when they go through molestation like this?
Yeah.
When they go through things, because it's easy for the girl child to scream out
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, she has been raped." It's easy for the girl child to come out and say, "Oh, I have been molested," or "I'm not treated fairly," blah blah blah. So in this scenario, I know boys who have been raped by their house helps. You understand?
Female house helps, right?
Female house helps. They've been raped. Male, female, because it's happened, you understand? Male, female, siblings, but it is never discussed. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it is never an issue. I have never seen, so they say it's behind closed doors. You know, I don't even think, and guess what? I even hear guys, so when it is a girl, an older girl that rapes them, they speak about it proudly. They don't call it rape.
When we're grown up, not then.
No, growing up. That's what
We speak about it later, not then.
No, the ones I've heard though, you see them, they'll say,
Even as at that point, right? Even as at that point, right? As I said, I'll still go back to the idea of how men are raised in this community or in this country, per se, right? And I'll say that because of that stigma, there is now a shame surrounding it. And that is why people do not talk about it. They've told you as a man, you cannot show your emotion, you cannot express yourself, you have to stand up for yourself. There are a lot of things. There's a lot of pressure. And
Chente,
I'm actually coming to that point. And
okay.
So what I mean is that what I mean is that when you've been told all those things, your mind already puts you in a state of I cannot speak up, I cannot express my emotion because people will see me as weak. And so when things happen to them or when men are being abused, there's already a culture of shame that happens, that if they speak up, everybody's going to judge me. So I cannot be vulnerable. I cannot say what I have been through. I cannot talk about that I've been abused, I've been molested. What would everybody say? That you are a man, you are meant to speak up for yourself, or you are meant to stand up for yourself. How will somebody rape you? And so they are silenced because of that shame.
No, Chente, I don't agree with you. So growing up, when the ladies are raped, they are the ones that are not able to speak up because they don't want people to look at them with that stigma for the ladies. So the ladies don't speak about it except they are being caught. But for the guys, when they get raped, they are proud, they are happy about it. They'll go and tell their friends, "Omo, that my house girl just, you know,
then,
if it's a
not
girl."
Then. Later in life, that's when they do that.
But let me tell you, growing up, it's easier for men to speak about sex than the girls.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's easier for the guys to speak about sex.
So try to tell you why it's easier.
Why?
So
back to what Chente has said, the condition is, we're a man.
Exactly.
You can have sex, you're a man.
Have sex.
So
exactly.
It's
So it's not about you saying you cannot express yourself. So they pick the things that they can express. Do you get my point? So because when is that? That's why I brought it up. When it comes to sex, men are able to express themselves because they've given them that idea that, you know what, you are a man. It's okay for you to do this. It's okay for you to do this.
So why can
and
a
for
man
the girl,
who has been raped by a man can't express himself?
Good. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because if you're able to speak out, if you're able to speak out to say that, oh, Omo, this lady, because they're happy to say an older lady is chasing them.
Yeah.
They're happy to say it.
Yeah.
But a girl, even if she was
thing.
raped, it's an ego thing for them.
Yeah.
Exactly, Tommy. But guess what? Sex is never an egoistic thing for a woman. It's a shame.
Yes.
So, Chente, it has not. So that is not why. Because what I'm saying that is, men pick. Going back to you can't do this. You can't. Why are they able to speak about that?
But yeah, you pick what you want to speak about.
Exactly, you pick what you want to speak about. So if you're able to pick what you want to speak about, why can't you speak about? You chose not to speak about certain things because you feel, oh, this one will give you pride. This one will give you.
This one will drop your.
This one will drop
make you look weak.
Thank you.
Back to vulnerability.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they don't want to look in a certain way. But even the girls, even the ones, so if based on that, even ladies are not being totally vulnerable.
Yes.
Yes. Because even females cannot talk about certain things. Yeah. Or even now, look at Natasha's issue. She couldn't come out to speak about it because she felt they won't believe her. as much as we have been saying, oh, girls have been done, women have been empowered, blah, 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 she couldn't come out. Even when she came out, a lot of people said negative things about her.
So let me ask something, right?
Okay.
If he was a man in that Senate house that was abused sexually,
yes,
do you think that he will come out and speak
he will be
about it?
he won't see it as an abuse. He will see that he striked somebody.
Yes.
He won't see it as an abuse. Gente, that's the point.
He looks as an abuse.
He won't see it as an abuse. As far as he's concerned, he don't strike one down.
I ain't be
One man
now.
down. That's
Chop.
that's the whole
Now ego
thing.
thing now,
It's like
ego.
ego thing for him.
He won't feel.
He won't feel
it's
like
it's not something.
yes.
It doesn't make him weak.
It doesn't make him
You
weak.
get. Now it only makes him weak if he was the one receiving. You get. Now he feels weak. He can't say it because it's embarrassing to him.
Yes.
So, I mean.
Chente, do you understand what we're saying here? And does it make sense?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So sometimes I think we have definitions for things that kind of suits it at that time, but it's not cut across.
Yeah.
You understand, Chente? It's not completely cut across because men can be vulnerable sometimes.
Yeah. My wife told me yesterday, I love it when you're vulnerable. And I'm like, okay.
You do it because you want attention. So you see what I'm trying to say? They turn everything into selfish things, you know? He does it when
Why
he's
does
looking
this
for...
woman tackle me when I give that kind of point?
But Chente, do you get what I'm trying to say here? Chente, see what he just said now. The wife said, the wife says, I like it when you're vulnerable. But he chooses because he knows that it's going to get attention. He chooses when to be vulnerable and when not to be. Does that make sense?
I don't think that's the case. I just think my vulnerability sometimes comes naturally. Sometimes. I just allow myself.
You are wired in a certain way. That's why you say naturally. It's not naturally. That's the way you're wired. Chente, what do you think?
I don't have much to say about that, actually. I don't know.
Why? So why? Have you been able to change your mindset about certain things?
In what way, please? I think I got lost for a bit.
No, you said that you don't have anything to say. Why?
Yes, is what I'm saying. Like, I lost what he was trying to communicate. I didn't...
No, but he said something. He was saying that sometimes he's vulnerable as a person.
Okay.
You understand? And the wife says, I like it when you're vulnerable. But the truth is, he chooses when to be vulnerable. That's the point.
And I say I don't choose. It comes.
No, because that's how you have been wired.
The
things that don't make you feel good, you're not vulnerable about it, Tommy. You're vulnerable you're vulnerable when you want people to notice you. You're vulnerable when you want compliments.
Come on.
That's what it is. So when you are looking for attention, you tend to be vulnerable. But the things that will not, if I do this, no, they're not go. You don't do it. But Tommy, that's what it is.
See something, right? Something.
Okay.
Now, there is another flip of the coin that we don't talk about, which is another reason men may not be as vulnerable as women want them to be.
Okay.
And you know that flip of the coin is women accepting the vulnerability of men. Do you understand? Like, because I feel like that is another thing that we have not talked about. And what I mean by that is that I know a lot of ladies now that would, in fact, there are a lot of them that come for therapy and they're like, if my boyfriend or my husband comes home and is crying,
you go insult them, man.
Like, it's
another
cringy for me.
Another angle.
Maybe that is why men are not, because they've not seen you as much as a safe space.
But wait, why are we generalizing this thing? Have you tried crying and the person you're with said don't cry?
He's generalizing it now. He's generalizing it, not to a person. Exactly.
We hear a lot of that.
Okay. But
there are women that will...
But Chente, I also know a lot of women who want their husbands to be vulnerable. Don't always show as if you're hard.
Actually, some women want that, and those are women who are genuinely in love with their husbands.
Do you understand? So are you now saying that? Are you saying 80% of the women married women are not in love with their husband?
I don't know, but there are people who are there because if you are truly in love with your husband, why would you feel cringe when your husband is when he's maybe crying about something and like why isn't they cry? Women do that, and you find out that men because they know the reaction they get from their woman, or because they are fearful that this woman might become disrespectful or feel that they've seen them finish.
Okay, so let me give another aspect to this. Let me come from another point. Do you know that in marriages, sometimes the women are the men?
Yes, true. It happen.
Good. Why is that?
Please explain. No.
Okay, now let me explain. The person who needs more attention in a relationship is the
The
man.
man. But why
The
though?
man who complains, who nags more is the man. Is that not you being vulnerable?
The man and ask.
That's my point. At that point, listen, when you nag about something, nagging is complaining, expressing yourself.
No, nagging and complaining different. Though.
See, there are things that are attributed to women.
Nagging.
And what is nagging?
Look at. See
Wait,
now.
nagging,
Well,
nagging.
there are things that look
No,
at
Tommy,
now.
no,
We have come
no,
again.
Chente, you don't understand what I'm trying to say. Naturally, they will tell you men don't talk too much. Do you understand? They don't have time for all that. So women are the ones, because no, they said even scientifically, it has been proven that women should speak 15,000 words according to Sergio, and men just 1,000. Is it 20,000? 1,000, whatever.
18, man 20.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that means women should speak more, right?
Yeah.
Good. So, but when in a relationship, I have seen relationship between a man and a woman. Even when it comes to taking care of them, who spends time in the bathroom and everything, the man spends more time in the bathroom.
Man, okay.
Yes.
I don't think so.
What is you don't think so? Change am I lying?
My skincare is very, please. I don't joke with my skincare.
Why you whine me for here now? I'm trying to be skincare. I know they use past 5 minutes. I'm out of the bathroom.
No, but guess what, Tommy?
wow.
That is you.
Yeah. And I'll still touch base on where I need to touch base on.
See, that is you. There are people who they will tell you they're very. So it has nothing to do with whether they are anything. No, that's just who they are. They're very particular about certain things. Do you understand? Just the way they'll say women take their time to do makeup.
So because
Men
a man,
are the ones,
because a man takes time to do that, does that make him vulnerable? Because
you don't understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So why, if they say what they have put into their head, that just the way you say, why man go take time? Why do men do that?
Conditioning like it's
What is the conditioning there?
say you be man, which one be say you go spend 30 minutes for bathroom?
But some men still take, they don't, affect their reason. They still spend time in the bathroom.
Because they choose that.
Thank you. I like that word. I say I know book.
Sabi.
What did you say?
Sabi.
Do you understand?
Sabi.
Because so they chose to. Chente, look at what he said. I said, let's not make it about the general things that we know, these are for men, these are for women. Now we're talking about hygiene. There are men who spend 30 minutes in the bathroom having a bath. Not because of anything. They're just particular about certain things. They take their time to do whatever they want to do. Do you understand? And I'm saying, why is that not stuck in their head since they say, this is a woman's thing? Why is that not stuck in their head? And he said something. He said they chose to do that. Because why? It doesn't make them lesser of who they are. So they chose that.
They like it, so they own it.
So they own it.
Yeah.
So that means they don't even like being vulnerable sometimes. So they chose not to.
Yes.
Because the same way there are women who are naturally supposed to cry, but they don't cry.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So really, when we make it about a gender thing, I think we should personalize it to individuals.
So that will make me ask now, is it okay to choose to be vulnerable at a time when you think it's okay to be vulnerable? Or you can be vulnerable whenever there's an occasion that you ought to be vulnerable?
Tommy, let me be honest with you. I think everybody choose when they want to be vulnerable. Because the person, the man, Chente, let me tell you, that man that you said is not vulnerable. When he's with you, he's not vulnerable. But when he's with a side chick,
He could be vulnerable.
you see him being, you will see
Yes,
him
sorry.
looking for
bear.
attention.
It becomes a teddy bear.
It becomes a teddy bear.
Is
Is that not you looking for attention? Is that not you being vulnerable? Is that not you be saying, you know what, just take care of me. This is where I want to be. Is that not vulnerability? So why do you understand? So people just pick things at the surface.
Like, I have another thing to tackle.
But can we make it?
Yeah.
Can we make it something that has to do with the fact that there is a way? Maybe that side chick has, created a space for that man to be that way. That is what I'm trying to say. That in every case, sorry.
No, go on.
No, because I would always say it, right? And I've seen a lot of scenarios where women say things and they do things like, okay, some women, I'm not generalizing, but some women say things or do things like, I would not, like, I want you to be a man. I want you to don't cry, don't do all these things. But have you thought about it that there is a way that that person might have created space for this person to just be themselves, for them to express their emotions? Because I would not express my emotions where I am not wanted, where I do not have the space for me to express my emotions.
So it's not
I
about
would not do
Chente. So it's
that.
not about not wanted, right? It's about the society. Be a man. A man is supposed to take care of the family. A man is supposed to provide. A man is supposed to be in charge of security and
No,
all
that's
that.
not that's not what he's speaking about. But let's quickly go on a break. I have a lot to say with what you just said, Chinti, but let's go back. Let's go on a break. When we come back, Nami and you.
Stay tuned.
So let me tell you why I say
Heartlines
that.
will be right back.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so please note that you can join in our conversation on and call us live on 070-2500-7749 or 070-142-42420. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Artificial Upgrade TV. Okay, so Chente, are you here? Chente, can you hear me?
Yes, I am. I can hear
Okay.
you loud and clear.
Chente, you asked a question. You said, let's look at it from this angle that maybe the side chick made that space very comfortable for the guy. You understand? That's why he's vulnerable, right? Good. Do you think that while they were dating, that same wife, when she was a girlfriend, if she didn't make the space comfortable for the guy, would they have gotten married?
I just give an instance, and I'm not trying to
No,
reinforce cheating.
see, Chente, when you give, see, and they like to move according to. Let me tell you why I asked this question. Chente, wait. Let me tell you why I asked this question.
Okay.
There's always, these things are always in stages. Do you understand? Now, while they were dating, I can bet you that there was no issue about seniority and all that. Otherwise, they would have been having serious problems. They were cool with each other. At that point, nobody was keen about respect. Nobody was keen about, oh, don't do this with me. That's what happens in relationships. Do you understand? And guess what, Chente? When you say, did that person, when, even if you want somebody, if, Chente, you and I meet each other per se now, if you're not open to me, I can't make anything comfortable for you. It's a 50-50. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You have to give me room to even express myself. For me to now, you understand, bring you into my space. So that means if that woman if the side chick made that place very comfortable for the guy allowed her to do that. And let me tell you, that same side chick will have a boyfriend that they'll be quarreling every day. Do you know that?
Possibly.
Exactly. So it is actually, for every relationship that's working and you think you have a safe space, is what the amount of work people put in. Yes. It's not magic. You need to put in a lot of work.
Choices have been made.
Choices are made.
Yeah.
And guess what? Most of the choices are 50-50. Two people come to agree. Let me, for example, he has a side chick and she does something. and he's not as mad as he should be. His wife would do that same thing, Chente. He will call the wife's parents, call everybody. Why? Because he has a certain expectation from the wife. He doesn't have those expectations from the side chick. And let me tell you what men will say. She's my side chick, she's not my wife. So I don't care what she does. It's not important to me. But my wife is important to me, so I have to be strict. Does it make sense, Chete?
I think people in marriages they are really going through a lot.
He said Baba, I know they promote that kind of thing for them. Not be all married and they go through a lot. So some marriage are actually going fine. And there are two people can come together to try to make it work.
I believe so.
Exactly.
No, but Chente, do you get where I'm coming from based on what you said? So you
yes,
find
I
out
do.
that. So Chente, see, people just make choices. So the man has decided, the guy, people go into this side chick and said, I'm not here for too long, so let me just misbehave. And Chente, that's the same reason why women are comfortable when they're also cheating. Because that same guy, you understand, is making their space comfortable, his space comfortable for them. Because really, if you're complaining that your husband is cheating, you understand, and you're with another man who is married, that same thing you're blaming your husband for is what that other guy that you're loving outside is doing with you. So really...
No, he's doing with his own wife at home.
He's doing to his own wife at home.
Maybe.
But you are the person who is there right now, and you're not complaining. So people are just searching for things.
Life is a roller coaster.
So, Chente, what I feel is, you see this vulnerability thing. People just do things that are comfortable for them. And put a name, put it under an umbrella. Because really, you can...
I don't agree.
No, Chente.
I don't agree.
No, let's hear him. Let's hear him.
No, Chente, let me explain what I mean before you go there. I know that some people can't be vulnerable. There are people like that.
True.
Because the space is not comfortable. But let's not generalize that it's the same way for everybody. That's my point.
I think no. So I don't now. I totally understand, right? But I think that there is a lot, especially when it comes to men's vulnerability, because you talked about men's vulnerability, right? Especially when it comes to men's vulnerability, I think there is a factor that affects men being purely vulnerable. And we cannot negate that fact that there is an expectation, the society expectation, that there are a lot of things that affect the way men show up, the way men react to things. And I don't think that you should negate that fact, aside other things.
Okay.
The way the society is to women's vulnerability is different from the way the society is to men's vulnerability. And that's just, I think that we should accept that fact that there's a way the society already sees men. There's a way the society already perceives men to be, right? Because of the expectations of men. You have to do this, you have to be this. Do you understand? And I think that already is a big factor in itself that we should always consider.
Chente, does the society not have expectations from women?
Society has expectations from women, but I see where Chente is coming from.
My point is, it's true, but it's not one-sided. It is true.
Yeah, so when you say it's not one-sided,
Good.
Can you explain that?
See, Chente said something. That because the society expects a certain attributes from a guy, that's why they are not vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Does the society not also expect certain attributes from a woman?
Yes, society
It does, but in the topic of vulnerability,
but not on the topic. Thank you, but not in the topic of vulnerability.
But guess what? When you say in the topic of vulnerability, people now make choices. Chente, you make choices. The same way women have women have been expected to be in a certain way, they have made their own choices to be in a certain way. That's why you see women feminists. That's why you see women fighting. Do you understand?
He has to take a level of self-awareness for you to get there. Because as I said, right, you're growing up with a lot of things, right? You're being conditioned. There's a way that you have to intentionally say, I'm going to break this cycle. I'm not going to live by everybody's expectation. And not many people are that self-aware to understand that I have to do this. And I think that is why conversations like this are important. I think that is why therapy is important. I think that's why a lot of things are important, that people understand that I do not have to conform to what the society is saying. I can just be a human being, and being a human being means I have the ability to express my emotions however I want, right? But it will take a level of self-awareness that we as Nigerians, we may not have gotten to yet.
Chente, I agree with everything you have said. But my point here is, what you just mentioned, men and women are going through it. Men just live in denial
Very
sometimes. Let me now tell you why I say that. You mentioned something, go for counseling and speaking to a therapist. Women have started doing that. But let me tell you, men don't see any reason why they should go to therapist.
I'm one of them.
Chente, yes
But
or
do
no?
you know that there is still a stigma? But now,
What
I'm
type of
saying
sti-
that.
what kind of
Do you know
stigma,
that
Chente?
there was even a point where, there was even a point where, in fact, it was not even okay for, possibly like as an African, you possibly like you are going to go and see a therapist. Is there something wrong with you? Do you have a mental health issue? Do you get that kind of thing?
Chente,
So I
it is
think
unisex.
that-
It's not a gender thing. Chente, it's not a gender thing. Let's not make it a gender thing. Men and women had that issue. It was never a gender thing. They didn't say, oh, women can go and men can go. No. Even if a woman goes for therapy, they will say you have mental issues. It was a gender, it is not a gender thing. Do you understand? It was as an African. So let's not, I try as much as possible not to make
I think
issues.
it's a gender thing, and I'm going to hold on to this. I think it's a gender thing.
Okay, so why do you think
I
it's a,
think so.
why, can you give me a
Because,
can you give me a valid point, Chente? What makes it a gender thing to want to see a therapist?
See it here, right? See it here. In fact, we are two men and there's a lady here.
Yeah.
Let us bring somebody, maybe an elderly person.
Okay.
And I say that, she says that she's going for counseling, and I say that I'm going for counseling. Let us see how that person would react to me saying that I'm going for counseling. I'm saying that there is at least still a stigma thing in a way that is okay for a woman to want to talk to somebody to express her feelings, but as a man, you are already being seen as weak because there's an expectation already.
So Chente, you and I are obviously from a different school of thought.
Okay.
Now, I for one personally do not like to go for counseling, but I will never judge a man who needs to go for counseling because, like you said earlier, self-awareness is aware that he needs to go for counseling. So if you're aware that you need to go for counseling, I don't think whatever anybody feels about it should make any difference to you. And society-wise, right?
Nobody even knows you're going for counseling because it's between you and your
Exactly,
counselor.
exactly. So come
it's
on.
a personal thing. It's not about who sees you going for counseling. People don't even know you're going for counseling. So why do you need to tell somebody you're going for counseling? Nobody needs to know you're going for counseling. And Chente, let me tell you something.
Even if you tell anybody, come on, who cares?
No, let's even say people. You don't need to tell. If as a guy, you make up your mind. You know what? I want to see a counselor. You take a bag. Everything is online. You look for a counselor. You book an appointment and you go. So nobody needs to know you're seeing a counselor.
So if you're saying no one needs to know you're
okay,
going for
Franca,
hold on, Chante, hold on. So Chante, hold on.
Okay.
So if you say no one needs to know you're going for counseling, and it still falls back to you not being vulnerable.
No, you don't get my point. When I mean nobody knows, he is saying that if you tell somebody, because you're telling somebody, that's why you can't go.
Okay, no.
That's what. Do you understand? No. You say because if somebody comes, Chente, my point is the example you gave. You said that, for example, now 2 guys are here and I'm here, and an elder comes in. You understand? And I say I'm going for therapy. The other person says I'm going for therapy. You're assuming. The guy can say 2 of us shouldn't go for therapy. You're just assuming. You don't know what the elder is going to say. And I'm saying, why do I even need to discuss it with an elder? That's what I'm saying.
Why do I need to discuss it with an elder?
Why do I need permission from an elder?
Instead of going to...
When I know I have a problem.
Exactly.
No.
I don't
what
think...
I'm trying to say right
Okay.
now. You're actually getting me wrong when I mean already the expectations of a man and a woman are different. That is what I'm trying to say.
Chente, I agree with you that expectations are different.
But on this therapy case...
But therapy case, No.
So then why should
Let me ask you
a man and a
something,
woman
right?
go for counseling
Franca,
if they want to get married?
sorry.
Why is the church not seeing it
Franca,
seeing
please,
it that
let
way?
me
You get my
ask you
point.
something, and I want you to be totally sincere.
Chente, let me ask you a question.
Tell
Marriage
me,
counseling.
you are a therapist.
Wait, Chente,
Wait
marriage
now,
counseling.
wait
Do
now.
they say men shouldn't come for marriage counseling?
Exactly. So why is the world not
Let
seeing
me
it as?
ask now.
Okay, I'm
let me
listening.
ask. You are
Okay.
a therapist.
Yeah.
You are a therapist.
Yeah.
Give me the ratio of male and female clients that you have. Let's start there.
No, Chinte, you don't get it. We're not arguing all that. No, you don't get my point. We're saying that men don't come, women. Look, listen to what I said. I said now, there was a thing about therapists. There's always been a thing about therapy in Africa. But women are embracing it more. That's what I said. Women are embracing it more. Because women are saying, you know what, I need help here. Men are choosing, not because of the society. Men are choosing not to embrace it because they are holding on to something that they shouldn't hold on to. That's my point.
And that's resentment.
And that's resentment.
Come
That's
on.
not vulnerability.
It's not vulnerability.
Because you can choose to, nobody's going to stop you from doing it.
Yes.
And Chente, let me tell you something. When it comes to speaking, you say, oh, when men go to speak, men gossip more than women. But they choose what they gossip about.
Period.
Do you understand? Yeah. They talk about women. They talk about... See, let me tell you. Men gossip more than women. When they have their guys, told me you are a guy. You and your guys, not they talk.
They talk now.
But you choose what you speak about. The only difference is for women, they say everything. They don't keep anything behind with them. But men choose what they want to say out. But guess what? Even men are beginning to discuss. They feel comfortable discussing their side chicks, but they never feel comfortable discussing their wives. Why?
I mean, because
Choice.
in that, is it choice? I just think maybe, I don't know.
Tommy, a guy can tell you everything about his side chick. I think nakam, I think do everything. Yes or no?
Yeah.
But he will never discuss his wife with
Because
you.
he respects his wife. That's private.
Thank you. So, Chente, my point is choices. The same way you're able
Choices.
to, yes, the same way you're able to discuss how you have sex with your side chick, the guy knows that you're actually doing that something so terrible to your wife. Why can't you call your guy and say, guy, Omo, you get what's happening for my house right now. I need your advice. Don't you understand? But they can seek advice about their side chick from their friend. So, Chente, my point is, everything you have said is valid. Don't get me wrong. But let's not hold on to certain things to say, oh, no, it is no longer that thing. When it comes to therapy, therapy was not accepted in Africa by anybody. Male, female.
Not gender.
It is not gender.
The general something.
But guess what? The women started embracing it. That's why you have more women go for therapy than men. There are still some women who don't see any reason why they should go. And at the same time, some men have said, you know what, I need therapy. That's a choice thing. And your papa and mama don't need to know so you go for therapy.
It comes back to awareness, understanding, awareness. You know you need it.
And let me tell you, Chente. Chente, let me say something before you. Chente, please, let me say something. Let me tell you what the major problem is. The African man is happy about the power that this whole thing has given to him. That's why it's difficult for him to change certain things. Yes. The African man is happy and you see, that power they've given to him, do you understand, makes him, he feels like a god. So he doesn't want to let it go. That's why they are not embracing certain things. Have you thought about it like that?
I think you have a valid point. Very, very
Thank
valid,
you.
actually. Very valid. But,
Okay.
but see something there. So I was coming from a more practical aspect because people know me as men's mental health champion. So I'm all about men coming for therapy. I'm all about... Now, I'm beginning to even have more male clients than female clients. And I'm saying it in sessions, even when men have booked sessions, right? They will pay for 10 sessions, pay for 20, even pay for like a year's package. But when they come to therapy, they're like, There's always a resistance than a woman that will just, that will come and be like, okay, what do you want to talk about? And then she's going on and on. Do you understand? But there's also a resistance, even when they've even paid for it. It now boils down to that vulnerability thing. And you're like, you've paid for this thing. I don't want to eat your money. Do you understand? Let me know why you came for therapy. And there's always a resistance. And at the end of the day, when you even dig deep, they're like, I don't even know what you are going to think about me if I even say it. Which leads to where? It has led to the fact that initially, the society
Chente, I will see you next week.